go. Mean for you. Living the Jubilee this 2025. Buenos dias. We're back. Season cuatro. That means season number 4. And we're starting on this lovely January 6th of 2025. Now, I'm going to mess that up for the first a couple of weeks. I know that for sure. I mean, how many of us are getting used to it yet? It's a little tongue twister for me. It's a new year. It's a new Monday. It is a new week. Thanks for tuning in with us. We're here every Monday and Friday at 9:30 a.m. And we're going to kick off because that's what we do with a dad joke. Miss Charmaine. Oh, wait, a quote. Okay. So the creation of something is not accomplished by the intellect, but by the play instinct. I would say I will take out but and I put in an. Oh no, the camera. What's going on? Okay, all right. So anyway, I think it's both. But really how much more fun life is one while we're having fun and we're playing, we're experimenting, we're discovering. And I hope that this show could bring all those things of discovery and learning to you and to your family. So let's kick off with today's dad joke that we didn't play last week. Let's play it.
Do chickens wear?
Wait, let's play from the beginning, Mr. Man. I think we missed the beginning. Let's play from because he's really.
They were Reebok.
All right, we're gonna play it again. Put me nice and small.
Reebok.
Come on.
What kind of shoes do chickens wear?
What kind of shoes do chickens wear?
They were Reebok.
You know what I love about this one? It's like he's as bad as I am. He truly is as bad as I am. I find it very difficult, Mr. May. You can put just me, okay? I find it difficult to keep myself together. Ooh, thumbnail, Mr. Maine. Hey. All right, I find it difficult to keep it together. If I know that joke is hilarious, okay, listen, it's very hard. And I don't know if you guys saw him. He's like breathing, and I know it helps, but I think that's what made the joke. So thank you, sir. Whatever his name is, Mr. Charmaine, let's write it down. Can we pull up that slide with him again? Maybe his name is right there in the handle. Let's give him a shout out. And I hope, sir, that you're as bad as me as a compliment. No insult in here. Because I am showing your video because it brought me so much joy. Ooh, Zito, I think you should put your headsets. Yes. Okay, let's go to the next slide, Miss Charmaine. What do we have for the next slide? Hold on. Before you bring Mr. Zito here, because he's still adjusting the camera. I could see him. That is Mr. Zito, everybody. With the weather, have you guys noticed? Can you put me small, Miss Charmaine? Have you guys noticed that we put a little weather on the side? Isn't that cool? Actually, put me right here. Put me like, there you go. Guys, look at the side. It has the sunny, it has the cloudy, it has thunderstorm. Okay, now I think we're ready for Mr. Zito. Hopefully his headsets are on. Okay, they're not on. That's okay. Let's bring Zito. What's the weather, man?
Hey guys, well, for the weather today, I'm gonna just open the door and see what the weather is. It's basically how weather people find out what the weather is as well. It's nice. It's about, I'd say, 60-ish, right? My dog likes it. She's excited about the weather.
Ooh, can you do weather voice Poppy?
Hi guys, the weather is perfect weather to go outside and take a poopy. So please take your human for a walk and make sure you do a poopy. Okay, love you. Mean it. Bye.
That's good. Thank you, Poppy, for reporting the weather. Hey, thank you, Vito.
Oh, it's so
All right.
nice out. I'm gonna leave the door open.
All right, Mr. May, what do we have next? Aha, in sports. Let's play it. Oh, you mute it. Yeah. All right. What it says is that it's never too late. We'll play it again. So you guys can notice. All right, so he misses. That was the goalie who fell, and that guy thought he was gonna make it, and boom! He saves the day. That's pretty cool. Pretty awesome. Yeah, I love that. You're not defined by your mistakes. Guys, if last week was a sucky one, this week it's going to be amazing. It is Monday. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. And we're here with you, okay? Every Monday and Friday. What do we have next, Mr. Maine? Hey, birthday shout out. Okay, cool. This is good. Because the first one is this was on Saturday. Happy birthday, Jimmy. All right, Mr. Maine, you have it in there and okay. So I think Mr. Maine is typing it in right now. That's okay, Mr. Maine. I'm glad that it was Jimmy. Nope, there it is. Pablo Renzo was last week. All right, or last month. All right, so Jimmy's birthday was on the 4th, which was Saturday. And we went. Actually, Jimmy, do you want to tell him about all you can eat sushi experience you had? Let's see if he's still here. Is the weatherman still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
There he is.
Yeah, breakfast sushi was amazing. Sorry, my headset does not fit my phone, and my laptop's currently not working. So we have been on a quest, or I've been on a quest, because anyone out here who likes sushi, any recommendation I've ever gotten is like hundreds of dollars in sushi, and I'm like, no, I'm from New York, right? And all I want to spend is like no more than $40. And I want to have as much sushi as I can eat. And we finally found a place that does that. It was like $39, right around the corner from our house. Great restaurant, great staff, just amazing experience. Got to try out some new things as well as some old favorites, and yeah, it was just amazing. Good sushi.
Awesome. Oh wait, my mic was unmuted because we don't. Who wants to hear an echo? Nobody wants to hear an echo. All right, Mr. Maine, what do we have next in our slides for today? Oh wait, no, we have one more birthday, correct? Oh my gosh. Okay, so tomorrow, Mr. Maine, whose birthday is it going to be tomorrow? Hey, Richie's birthday is tomorrow, honey. Did you know that? Yeah, the 7th. Richie, how old are you going to turn? Is it going to be 36 like Jimmy or 40 something? So let us know how many years young you are turning. I hope that tomorrow and this whole week it's an epic birthday for you. So happy birthday, Jimmy. I'm sorry, Jimmy yesterday and Richie tomorrow. All right, a day in the life of a puppy. Actually, you know what? That's right, Mr. Mean. We have a song for Richie and Jimmy. I was gonna say Uncle Jimmy. Let's play it. I love it. This is for you, honey. It's for you. Let's see. Oh no, thank you. That one's good, but I meant here, the day of the life of a pup. That was good, Mr. Maine. That was good. But let's play that one. Yeah. Make me small on that one. There you go. All really? That's the sound? That is so adorable. Okay, thank you, Miss Charmaine. Oh my gosh, look at that right there. That actually looks beautiful right there. What do you think, Zito? That was a little singing from a dog and a little girl.
That was amazing.
All right, the echo, I forget. Okay, Miss Charmaine, what is next? Oh, okay. Jimmy, what are you drinking? I have the same mug. Mm. Yes. Okay, guys. So for today, I finally got my dark chocolate collagen back for my hair and my nails to be spectacular. So salute. All right, what do we have next, Miss Charmaine? Let's skip that one. Let's skip that one. And I think that's right into our mug, everybody. Oh, I'm so excited, honey. I wanted to save it for you. Miss Charmaine, let's go to the store, like I mentioned, and let's show people the store at T Public. Guys, what do you think about that being the logo? I was thinking that the morning show should be more white, but when you go to that link, guys, yeah, let's scroll up. Let's hit that morning show. Yeah, that one. That one comes in a t-shirt. Let's scroll down, Miss Charmaine. You could do the hat, click on the hat. Check out the hat, honey. I think the hat will look really good. I think it's just the morning shirt should be in white. You could change the color of the hats. Miss Charmaine, show the second to last. Okay, that one you can't see. Go to the right. One less. Ooh, yeah, I thought that one's pretty. Um, so I'm thinking like the morning show should be white, so that way it could pop out more. Guys, let us know in the comments. I will adjust it if you are like, yeah, that hat looks good. So Jimmy, I think that hat will look really good on you. But yeah, and then we also have, let's scroll down, Miss Charmaine. We got the stickers that we were talking about. Scroll, boom, right there. There you go. Only $2.75. You could slap that into your drink, into your laptop, and people will be like, "What is that?" Well, it's a morning show. It happens every Monday and Friday. You'll learn tons of dad jokes. You will learn. See how many. If there are 4 shows, no, if there are 8 shows in 1 month, that's 8. What's 8 times 12? Okay, guys, you can do the math for me. Okay, 96 dad jokes in 1 year. Let's go to the hoodie. The hoodie looks cool. Probably the logo's a little big. It's like in people's face. All right, let's go back to the mug. Let's do the mug, Miss Charmaine. I think the mug is pretty cool. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I think I like it. I think that's gonna be our next order. So when we do coffee, we can lift it up like this and show that one. All right, guys. Anyway, check, please support if if you've been from season 1 with us, and you want to let your friends know while you have some swag and a mug for your delicious morning drink. That'll be so cool. Anyway, all right, Miss Charmaine, what do we have next here for our morning show? So we could get right into, what does the year Jubilee mean to you? Okay, let's skip that one so we could get right into it. What's the next one? Hey, yeah. So our first slide is the historical meaning of the Jubilee, and that is the one and only Mr. Zito. Let's put him on, not me.
Hey, so I don't know about historical. I don't think the Jubilee ever actually happened in historical Israel. That's my theory. But biblically, the year of Jubilee is basically a culmination of the Sabbath cycles. So to get into that, basically, you really need to go back to the beginning. You're going to see a lot of people online like talking about Leviticus 25 and Luke 4 and about how, Jesus is the ultimate Jubilee bringer. And, the Catholics right now, they're doing a whole bunch of cool stuff in the Vatican. I think they're opening up like symbolic doors, which has led to all types of like funny memes because I guess like some of these doors supposedly weren't opened uh, for like 25 years and there's somehow cameras in there. So people like, look, the Pope rescued the camera crew from 1997 or whatever. But really, the year of Jubilee, if you go back to the Bible, if you go back to Genesis 1, Genesis 2, God creates, God orders, God puts people in the garden, everything is great. And, God rests on the seventh day. And that's like the first Sabbath, the first Shabbat. And then everything goes horribly wrong. And then the rest of the story of Genesis is kind of God trying to figure out, how am I going to get all this back together? How am I going to get back to the original thing that I wanted to do with humanity? Humanity's a mess. They're just not changing. You go through all of Genesis 1 through 11. God just tries to, reconcile with humanity. It gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And finally, out of the ruins of the Tower of Babel, or the ruins of Babylon, God calls a family. He calls the family of Abraham, or Abram at the time. And from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he makes a whole nation, right? They go down, they go down to Egypt, right? They get into slavery. God brings them back up. They cross the Red Sea, or the Sea of Reeds. They end up at Mount Sinai, and that's where they become a people. They become Israel. And there, God gives them what Patty would love the most. He gives them a calendar, and he gives them a schedule, and he gives them things to do. And that kind of ends the book of Exodus. And then you get into the book of Leviticus, everyone's favorite bedtime reading story in the Bible, the book of Leviticus. But if you look at the Torah, right, you have Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Leviticus falls right in the center. And usually when you read the Hebrew Bible, anything that's in the center is like super, super important. So Leviticus is the heart of the Torah, and it answers the question, what do you do when God shows up? Because when God shows up, it's amazing, but it's also terrifying because God's here. So they basically built this tent of meeting, or this tabernacle, the first temple, right? That was just a tent to meet with God. They do it exactly the way God tells them to do it. And then God's glory, or God's kavod, fills that tent. And then because they had been so sinful, even in setting this up, they did something called unauthorized fire, right? Aaron's sons. They couldn't get into the temple. And so basically, it's this whole big horrible way that Exodus ends. They go through all of this drama. Basically, the whole fate of the world seems to hang on this moment where God is trying to use this one family that he called out, that he just turned into a nation, to try and restore his relationship with humanity. And they can't get in because of the sin that they haven't dealt with. And basically, Leviticus it seems to be dictated by God to Moses and Aaron, who are outside the tent. And as you go through the book of Leviticus, when you get to Numbers, Moses is finally back inside the tent, which is saying that they basically did Leviticus as much as they could, because Leviticus is like a whole like multi-year calendar. And in the heart of Leviticus 24 and 25, you have the culmination of the Sabbath cycle. So every week you have the Sabbath, every year you have the Passover. Every 7 years or so, you have a little mini celebration, and it kind of culminates in this every like 40 or so year of Jubilee, which is a huge celebration. A lot of people read a lot of social justice into it, because basically in the year of Jubilee, all debts are canceled. You're not allowed to do any farming. It's basically a whole year of rest and restoration for you and for the land. If you've lost your home, if you've lost your ancestral home, everything is given back. All debts are canceled. Even if you just went into debt, you just.
Sorry. Wow. Keep going.
Is that too much?
No, keep going.
So basically, all that happens, and so everything gets restored. So if you've ever wondered, well, what's the whole point of humanity? Because basically God orders a cosmos, and you have on the seventh day God rests. You don't really find out what the whole point of all that is, because we mess up the relationship right away. But if you follow the whole story to the heart of Leviticus, there seems to be like God wanting to partner with people to order the world as they would have perceived out of the garden. Because the garden wasn't, a lot of people think the Garden of Eden was, earth was just his paradise. No. The Garden of Eden is one little small place inside another place called Eden. Eden was like the land, and then outside of that, everything was kind of still like it was great, but it wasn't the garden paradise. People with God were supposed to go out of the garden, and you can kind of see that in the whole cycle of sevens and the Sabbath cycle that would culminate in the year of Jubilee. And in Luke 4, Jesus comes proclaiming the year of the Lord's favor, the year of Jubilee, or the restoration of Israel. So historically, you want to know what the evidence for historical Israel actually doing the year of Jubilee? It happened about 0 times. We have no written record of this ever happening. If it did happen, economists will talk about how it would have this could destroy economies. This could destroy everything. The whole economy would shut down. But really, I think this was a way of God trying to get people to understand that you always need to have these moments of like restoration and reformation. So you're always supposed to get to a point, and in the Jewish calendar, this happens every year, right, with the Day of Atonement. Exactly. Where you reassess. Oh, you're light. Hold on.
I'm gonna jump in here. I guess it's very windy, and the wind just opened the door. Everything okay, honey? It was very odd. Okay, so anyway, I wanted to jump in really quick in here. Like I got so many chills, right? About like dads being forgiven, homes given back, and all that. And then I know some of you, I don't know, but one of the things that could come up, it's like, man, if only that was real and it happened to me right now because I'm in a lot of debt, right? Or anything like that. I believe that that could happen here, of like a reset, a restoration here and here. Our minds and our hearts. And once that gets restored, I do believe that the rest will come, and that solutions can come in the way, or even not just solutions, but more peace. But anyway, let's get back to Zito. That was so odd. Our door basically just opened.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, like that sits there in the heart of Leviticus, and you go through then the rest of the biblical story, and you get to the exile, and even like the impending exile, and basically because biblical Israel, there's Israel that was portrayed in the Bible, and there was actual historical Israel, which is 2 different things. But the story that the Bible is telling us is that because they never did this, because God gave them this, and they never did this, they never allowed the Sabbath cycle to play out across generations. The land itself was about to vomit them out. So the land not being given rest, basically is what it's kind of seen as pushing the people of Israel into exile. So really the whole point of the biblical story is supposed to be about restoration, and it's supposed to be about rest. It's supposed to be about putting things back in order across generations. And this is something that's supposed to happen again and again and again. And there'll be like a lot of talk with Jesus about Jesus ushering in the ultimate year of Jubilee, or the end of like the Jubilee of Jubilee that's going to end everything. I don't necessarily see that when I read the New Testament. It seems like more like Jesus was finally going to show up. He was finally going to do for Israel what Israel was never able to do, which was to do his, basically the year of Jubilee. And while, Sabbath, I think in the modern Christian context, especially when Christians try and do the Sabbath, it kind of devolves into very narcissistic tendency to be all about rest. And I'm going to just rest. I'm going to get my me time. I'm going to shut my phone off, which, that's all great and good. We do some of that as well. But really, Patty, as you like to talk about after you read Abraham Herschel's book, the Sabbath, or the Shabbat, the Sabbath is also about a death. It's about the ending. It's about the ending of a week. It's about the ending of the possibilities. You did your best, and it's over. Thank the Lord that it's over. We don't have to do this forever. And so, the Sabbath is also a death. It's a ceasing, and that's what I feel like Jesus was really doing there. Jesus was ending. Jesus was choosing his own death to go through death into life and the restoration of all things. And that was what the Sabbath was supposed to be all about. But you miss that if you don't follow the story all the way from like Genesis 1 and 2, where we have, God resting, and then God partnering with humanity in Genesis 2. And then if you don't follow the whole story, you don't understand the exile, you get to Jesus, and Jesus kind of says a bunch of stuff, and you think about it like prophecies, like prophecies of Nostradamus or something like that. Like Jesus is coming, and he's checking, like the prophets predicted all these things to happen, and really what prophets really did is they really held Israel accountable to its own Torah, to its own instruction, to its own really mission statement of what it was supposed to be in the world. And through that, you had the exile and the bringing back of the people of really just Judah back into, the land was in a sense its own year of Jubilee that God did. So there's a precedent in the Old Testament of God doing for Israel what Israel couldn't do. And then Jesus is doing the same thing. He's fulfilling Israel's story. And then through there, especially, the year of Jubilee is in Luke, right? And Luke has a partner work, which is called Acts. And Luke, Acts together are meant to be seen as one unit. And that year of Jubilee does really follow out into the early church, or at least portrayed by Acts. And Paul himself is almost like the ultimate consequence, at least Paul from Acts, because, if you just read Paul, the letter writer, you don't really know. I mean, he just seems like he's a Greek Jew. You don't even know if he knows Hebrew. But Luke from Acts is like this ultimate person that he's both Jew and he's both Gentile. He's both an Israelite, he's a Pharisee, and he's also like a Greek Roman citizen. So he's this beautiful fusion that in a way Jesus never could be, because Jesus was coming to fulfill Israel's story, and Jesus opened up the possibility for a person like Paul to even exist. And that's why the book of Acts, I think, ends with Paul. And I think we're called to do the same as the church. We're called to be the people of the restoration, the people of the year of Jubilee, of bringing people, families, cultures back together, not to be the same thing, not for us all to be like, we all need to be like me because I'm starting a church. I'm not starting a church. Or we're all supposed to be one way, but just the beauty and the treasures and the richness of the world are all supposed to come together, and there's supposed to be harmony, but that takes acts of restoration that happen in regular periods. and so that Sabbath cycle is still with us. So I really don't know much about what the Catholics are doing with opening up doors. I don't really know much about what that means, besides the fact that everyone's like super intrigued, like yeah. Oh, you're raising your hand saying yes. You're super intrigued.
No, I'm not. I'm not intrigued but by what the Catholics are doing. So if you were to sum it up, there's a lot of information in that brain, and I know you were like looking up, searching all of it, and I love that brain. But if you could put it into recap, do you have a recap?
The Year of Jubilee is all about restoration. It's a time to take out to just really look at yourself, look at places that. Now, again, the Jews will do this every year, like the Day of Atonement. How have I shown up in ways that have damaged my life and the lives of others, and how can I make reparations for that? How can I repair that? But the Year of Jubilee is almost like generationally. How has my life damaged me and other people and society, and how can I show up different to repair those and to offer reparations to myself and others in society and the relationships that I've caused harm in.
So it's not just right now, it's basically my whole existence.
Yeah. So like doing this once a year, like if you practice the Jewish calendar of like the Day of Atonement, that would be like in my, because I don't really think the year.
Let's go to the next slide, Mr. Ming, as he's saying that. And so, Jimmy,
yes.
So would be release and renewal? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's like you're releasing yourself, you're releasing trauma, you're releasing all the things that have been held captive, right? And you're renewing, and you're renewing yourself, you're renewing your life, and I think it's something important to do like throughout your life, but also like at least once a generation to really like look at like how have we been showing up as a generation.
So you're saying this is like, let's go outside of looking at like an area of our lives and really just looking as a human, as a person, as and then you said generation meaning all of us, correct? Okay. So the next slide, Mr. Mean, it's really not so relevant, the one area to reset, or what are your thoughts on that?
But what did you mean when you wrote that slide? One area to reset.
Well, because I guess I was on the other side of like I was looking more at the individual, like our personal area to reset instead of as a whole. So I'm loving that as a whole. Like I think that's awesome. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a good place to start. And again, I think like the Day of Atonement would be like an opportunity. It's also baked into the cake there in Leviticus of one area to reset. Like what's one area of my life? That's great. Year of Jubilee, I feel like it's more of a corporate thing. It's almost impossible to do. Like I think it is actually impossible. I'm just going to do a Year of Jubilee by myself. It's really a call for an entire generation to reset and restore. So, I think it's a great place to start, because obviously you're not going to fix your entire generation. But I think that is the call that God does speak into every generation through the scriptures. How are we going to stop? We're going to Shabbat. How are we really showing up in this world? How have we caused damage? And what are we going to do to reset that?
Mr. Man, can you put this slide? Yeah. Okay. So this book is a book that I shied away from when it was put in our shelf, and picking it up this year. This is the same author when I read the book, there's Shabbat, and there was another book as well that I read at the same time, but I like it. Jimmy, you could go back in there. We could throw Jimmy back in the screen. So I have a question, Jimmy. Okay, so This is good. This is good because I know for so long in my message, especially in YSuperstars, is like the best form of youth development or the best form of human development is by us going first. And I think it's strong only because I've seen so much pressure of given to the youth that they're the ones that they're responsible for changing the world, which I think it's like so wrong and it's like so much pressure for that. But what you're saying is like as a generation, or maybe it's not generation. I guess when you said generation, it went like, whoa, way more of a community. It was like large. Whoa, there's an echo in there. So I'm thinking, because there's some people I follow on YouTube, there's some people I follow on TikTok who actually have said those same things. They didn't explain it the way you just did. But one of the things that they say often is generation, like the X, like I'm Generation X, right? And there are so many people from Generation X that are waking up to lies and narratives and the forces of the institutions. And that I want to be part of that awakening from that generation, which is basically everybody in their late 40s, right? And I think it's cool. I think it's really cool to say generation because then we're speaking to our people in the 40s, and it's not like you said, it's not like to blame others, but it's like, how do we contribute to this mess? How did we as a generation contribute to this current mess? And how can we repair it? How can we renew? How can we restore? And I do agree that it happens in a community. So if that's you, if you're in your late 40s and this channel is new to you, my name is Patty Zito. That was Jimmy Zito. We're the Zitos. We are relaunching our podcast on Life to the Full, where Jimmy gets to nerd out. Right now is I had asked him on Friday to talk about this, but he's got a whole year. And Jimmy, maybe you want to talk about that because you're the action taker of this week. Why don't you? I think Jimmy is actually getting his camera ready. But anyway, all right. So as soon as he gets his camera ready, oh, no camera. Okay, that's fine. You can come here.
That could be a little circle. I'm a little circle that's like pulsating.
You're a little white circle. Anyway, but I know he's starting with what about the gospels? Why don't you come over here? Let's put me back on, Miss Charmaine. Okay, there I am. All right. So anyway, more details could come up next. I think we've gone long enough. It's 38 minutes. Our brainstorming of the podcast was an hour and a half. It's in our Facebook and our YouTube channel, Life to the Full. I'm gonna give you the logo right there. That's the logo. Life to the Full in there, but we're actually now, which is sponsored by YSuperstars. But anyway, one way we could reset, Ms. Tremaine, while we get Jimmy into the studio, can you play the time and energy back? I believe that a lot of people are like, yes, I want to learn, but I have no time and I have no energy for any learning. Why don't we play that minute video of our free online course? Hit it, Ms. Tremaine. Imagine leading a life where you have enough time to do what matters most and the energy to nurture your spark. The outcome of this mini course is to end procrastination, frustration, and feeling stuck. In this mini course, you get to identify what is preventing you from time and energy. You get to crystallize your vision for what matters the most. And you get to activate your first step into the lifestyle you want. Clarity comes before focus. Get your audio mini course now. Grab your headset, your favorite drink, and start today.
All right, guys, Jimmy Zito here. Patty asked me to close us out with just just again, a summary of what we're going to be doing in Life to the Full podcast. We're going to be doing the winter gospel series. So we're going to be starting with Luke, and then in the spring, we're going to be continuing on with Acts. So join us for that. I think it's going to be every Wednesday. We're not sure of the date yet. It's going to be, yes, every Wednesday. I just heard that from Patty. So it should be great. See you guys all then. And I guess we can close out with some music. Charmaine, what do you got for us? Hey. Okay. Don't forget, like and share. Still gonna get fired. Not gonna be the first time.